Today we're making Spanish feel simple and usable. We're focusing on regular present tense verbs that end in ER and IR, with super useful verbs you can actually say today: comer, to eat; leer, to read; vivir, to live; escribir, to write; and abrir, to open. And here's the good news. These verbs are pattern-friendly. Spanish loves patterns. Honestly, once you see the pattern, your brain can relax a little. Let's start with the big idea. In Spanish, you take off the infinitive ending, that final ER or IR, and you add a new ending. For regular ER verbs, think O, S, E, emos, N. So with comer, como, comes, come, comemos, comen. I eat, you eat, he or she eats, we eat, they eat. For regular ER verbs, the pattern is very similar. O, S, E, emos, N. So vivir becomes vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, viven. Notice how ER and IR are almost twins. Almost. The big difference is the we form. Emos for ER and imos for IR. That one little switch matters a lot. Quick memory trick. ER has an E in we. Comemos, leemos. IR has an I in we. Vivimos, escribimos, abrimos. If you remember just that, I'll save yourself from a lot of guessing. And just to compare very lightly with AR verbs, because that helps the pattern click. Think of hablar, to speak. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, hablan. See how the first, second, third, and they forms feel similar across all three verb groups? The big changes are mostly in the middle, and especially in that we form. So Spanish is not giving you 5 completely random puzzles. It's giving you one puzzle with a few color changes. Let's say the first verb together. Comer, to eat. Como, I eat. Comes, you eat. Come, eats. Comemos, we eat. Comen, they eat. Como. Como, nice. Short and useful. Como. And remember, in Spanish, you often don't need to say yo. Just como is enough. Comemos. Comemos? Good. Comemos. Hear that E in the middle? That's your clue. Now let's make it practical. Como pan means I eat bread. Como arroz means I eat rice. A tiny side note. Arroz is rice, and it's one of those great everyday words you'll hear all the time. How do you say I eat bread in Spanish? Como pan. Como pan, perfect. Now let's move to leer, to read. This is a regular ER verb too. Leo, lees, li, leemos, lean. Leer has 2 E's together in the infinitive, so some forms look extra full of E's, like leemos and lean. Don't let that scare you. Just say it smoothly. Leemos, lean. How do you say you read in Spanish? Lees. Lees, exactly. Lees. How do you say they read in Spanish? Lean. Lean, great. Lean. And if you want a full sentence, lean mucho. They read a lot. Mucho means a lot. Very common, very handy. How do you say we read in Spanish? Leemos. Leemos. Excellent. Leemos. That's the ER we form again. Now for an IR verb. Vivir, to live. Vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, viven. Same rhythm as before, but now the we form uses I. Vivimos. That's your anchor. How do you say we live here in Spanish? Vivimos aquí. Vivimos aquí. Nice work. Vivimos aquí. Aquí means here. You may also hear aquí without the accent in casual typing, but when written correctly, it has the accent. Aquí. How do you say they live in Madrid in Spanish? Viven en Madrid. Viven en Madrid. Perfect. Viven en Madrid. Now another very useful IR verb, escribir, to write. Escribo, escribes, escribe, escribimos, escriben. This one is great because you can use it with everyday things. Escribir un mensaje, to write a message. Escribir una nota, to write a note. Escribir un email, to write an email. In speech, many people say email just like in English, more or less. How do you say they write a message in Spanish? Escriben un mensaje. Escriben un mensaje. Very good. Escriben un mensaje. How do you say I write in Spanish? Escribo. Escribo. Yes. Escribo. How do you say we write in Spanish? Escribimos. Escribimos. Excellent. And there's your we form again. Escribimos. Last main verb, abrir. To open. Abro, abres, abre, abrimos, abren. This one is nice and concrete. You can open a door, a window, a book, a store. How do you say she opens the door in Spanish? Abre la puerta. Abre la puerta. Great. Abre la puerta. Little side note. Puerta is door, and la puerta means the door. How do you say we open the window in Spanish? Abrimos la ventana. Abrimos la ventana. Perfect. Abrimos la ventana. Ventana means window. Let's slow down and lock in the pattern. With regular ER verbs like comer and leer, the we form ends in hemos. Comemos, leemos. With regular IR verbs like vivir, escribir, abrir, the we form ends in imos. Vivimos, escribimos, abrimos. If your mind goes blank, ask yourself one question. Is it an ER verb or an IR verb? Then your we form becomes much easier. Here's a tiny memory image. Imagine ER verbs eating an E at lunch. Comemos, leemos. And IR verbs carrying an I in their pocket. Vivimos, escribimos, abrimos. Silly? Yes. Helpful? Also yes. Now let's try a few mixed ones naturally. How do you say I live in Spanish? Vivo. Vivo. How do you say you write in Spanish? Escribes. Scribes, how do you say they open in Spanish? Abren. Abren. How do you say he reads in Spanish? Lee. Very nice. Now let's talk about common mistakes, because avoiding a mistake early is like not stepping in a puddle. Much nicer. Mistake number 1, mixing up the we forms, saying vivimos for an air verb, or comemos for an IR verb. Wait, comemos is correct for air, but saying comimos as a present tense we form for comer would be wrong here. So remember, comer becomes comemos, not comimos. Vivir becomes vivimos, not vivemos. Mistake number 2, forgetting the extra E pattern in leer. Some learners want to make it lero or something unusual. Don't reinvent the verb. It's leo, lees, lee, leemos, lean. Mistake number 3, adding subject pronouns all the time because English needs them. In Spanish, for these simple sentences, you usually don't need them. Como pan is perfect. Vivo aquí is perfect. Escribimos una nota is perfect. Mistake number 4, translating word by word too stiffly. In English, you may say I am reading in some situations, but at this level, Spanish present tense often covers simple everyday meaning. Leo can mean I read, or in the right context, I'm reading. Keep it simple for now. Let's hear a short story now. First, just listen. Vivo en una ciudad pequeña. Cada mañana como pan y leo un libro corto. Después escribo un mensaje a un amigo. Por la tarde abrimos la ventana y leemos juntos. Mi amigo vive cerca y come conmigo a veces. Por la noche escribimos una nota para la clase. Now the same story, one sentence at a time. Vivo en una ciudad pequeña. I live in a small city. Cada mañana como pan y leo un libro corto. Every morning I eat bread and read a short book. Después escribo un mensaje a un amigo. After that, I write a message to a friend. Por la tarde, abrimos la ventana y leemos juntos. In the afternoon, we open the window and read together. Mi amigo vive cerca y come conmigo a veces. My friend lives nearby and eats with me sometimes. Por la noche, escribimos una nota para la clase. At night, we write a note for class. That story gave you all 5 focus verbs in action. Vivir, comer, leer, escribir, abrir. This is how you want to learn them, not as isolated tables only, but as things people actually do. Let's do a final quick flow together. Comer, como, comes, come, comemos. Leer, leo, lees, lee, leemos, leen. Vivir, vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, viven. Escribir, escribo, escribes, escribe, escribimos, escriben. Abrir, abro, abres, abre, abrimos, abren. One more round of practical Spanish. How do you say, I write a note, in Spanish? Escribo una nota. Escribo una nota. How do you say we eat rice in Spanish? Comemos arroz. Comemos arroz. How do you say they live here in Spanish? Viven aquí. Viven aquí. How do you say you open the book in Spanish? Abres el libro. Abres el libro. How do you say we read a lot in Spanish? Leemos mucho. Leemos mucho. Beautiful. You're not just memorizing endings now, you're building sentences. So here's the recap. Regular ER verbs use endings like como, comes, come, comemos, comen. Regular IR verbs use vivo, vives, vive, vimos, viven. The biggest thing to remember is that we form hemos for ER, imos for IR. Keep coming back to that. Compare them lightly with AR verbs if it helps, but don't overload yourself. And most importantly, use these verbs out loud. Say things like, como pan, leo mucho, vivo aquí, escribo un mensaje, abro la puerta. Short, real, repeatable. That's how Spanish starts to stick. You're doing well. Even if it feels like a lot, you are noticing patterns, and patterns are your best friend in Spanish. Keep going, keep repeating, and let these verbs become automatic. Soon, comemos and vivimos will feel as normal as your own name.